on to the latest battle report for Geeks 40k channel, and welcome to Gofftown. So today we have got Space Wolves versus Orks, and we are playing one of the missions from the Stormclaw box set. So in this mission, Gofftown, we get victory points for each enemy unit that is destroyed. We also have special rules of Vendetta, which is if the two warlords go into combat and one of them kills the other one, you get D3 extra victory points. There is also something called lightning strike. So at the beginning of the shooting phase, the player gets to roll to see if one of the opposing units gets hit by lightning. So yeah, we thought we'd do something a little bit different today. So Robin is controlling my Orks and I'm controlling my Space Wolves. So I am actually fighting my own army, which is always a little bit weird.
HQ choice for the Orks today. Robin is taking Grok Face Ripper. So this guy comes with his own Warlord trait of Bellowing Tyrant. So this means any Ork units within 12 inches get to re-roll failed morale and pinning tests. Second HQ choice, Robin has taken my Ork War Boss on a bike. So this guy comes with a Power Claw. First of the troop choices today, we have a 12-boy squad of shooters. There is a knob in here with a power claw and a boss pole, and they're going to be in a truck. Second of the troop choices, Robin has gone for a 23-man squad of boys. So in here there is a knob with a power claw and a boss pole, and there are also two big shooters, and these guys are going to be foot slogging it across the board. Elites for today, we have a 5-man squad of knobs. In here there are two big choppers and one guy with a power claw, and they're going to be riding around in a truck. Fast attack for the Orks today, we have a 5-man boys squad on bikes. So these are all standard. So there is a guy with a power claw and a big chopper in here, but they're just actually equipped normally today. So Robin is running these as normal boys and not as knobs as I normally would. Heavy support choices for the Orks today, we have 3 killer cans. These are equipped with custom Mega Blasters and the Can Claw. And last choice for the Orks today, we have a 10-man squad of looters. In here there is a mech with a custom Mega Blaster. Warlord for the Space Wolves today, we have Crom Dragon Gaze. This guy comes as standard as he does at the Stormclaw box set. He also has his own Warlord trait, which is Warrior of the Warrior Born, which means that he has to accept and issue challenges wherever possible, but he also gets to re-roll and he fails to hit. Second HQ choice today is a Rune Priest. This guy has been upgraded to Psychic Mastery level 2. First of the troop choices today, we have a 10-man Grey Hunters squad. These guys are going to be in a Rhino. There's a pack leader in here with a power claw and one guy with a plasma gun. Second troop choice for today is another 10-man Grey Hunter squad. Again, exactly the same loadout as the last squad. So Rhino, pack leader with a power claw and one guy with a plasma gun. Elite choice is a Venerable Dreadnought. So this guy comes with his power fist and he also has an assault cannon. Fast attack for the Space Wolves today, we have 3 Thunderwolf Cavalry. These two here have Storm Shields and Chainswords, and this guy over here has a Storm Shield and a Thunder Hammer. First heavy support choices, we have a Vindicator, so hopefully be able to blow some big holes in the green horde that's going to be running towards me. Final heavy support choice for the Space Wolves today, we have a squad of Longfangs. In here there is a missile launcher, 2 las cannons and a heavy bolter, and there is also a pack leader with a plasma gun.
So deployment. Even though we are doing one of the missions out of the Stormclaw box set, we have decided to run with our own lists rather than the recommended one in the rulebook. My Rune Priest Psychic powers for today, we've got Fury of the Wolf Spirit, Living Lightning and Murderous Hurricane. So, Space Wolf deployment. They get to deploy first and go first in this mission, unless the Orks seize the initiative. So, Thunderwolf Cavalry are on the right-hand side of the board, staring down at some of the Ork lines. Next to them is the Vindicator, which has a nice open range of battlefield there. Over this side of the board, we have Crom Dragon Gaze and a 5-man Grey Hunter squad behind this building, waiting to pull out the Orc War Boss. On top of the building we have got the Longfangs, hopefully going to be providing some covering fire. Next we have the 2 Rhinos. So in this one on the left there is a 10-man Grey Hunter squad. In this one on the right there is my Rune Priest and another combatant 5-man squad. And finally over this side of the board we have my Venerable Dreadnought. So the idea behind this game is that the Orcs have set up a camp on the far side of this city and the Space Wolves have come to flush them out, and basically it's Warlord against Warlord. Hopefully only one of them will survive. Hopefully it'll be the Space Wolves. So Robin's deployment with my Orcs. He's got his boys and his War Boss on a bike over this side of the board, and they are staring down at my Dreadnought and my Rhinos. Next to them is, well, what can only be described as a big green blob of troops. That's the 23-man boy squad. Next to them is Gut Ripper in a truck. He's in there with some knobs. Next to them are some killer cans. And finally on this side of the board we have a truck with a squad of shooter boys in, and then hunkered down inside the ruin of this building we have the looter squad. So the Thunderwolf cavalry have moved up 12. Not sure if they're going to go towards the looters or the killer cans yet. I've not decided on that. The Vindicator's also moved up 6 inches just so that he's got a little bit closer, but he's also got a slightly different range of fire now. The Longfangs top of the building have all shuffled forward, trying to get a bit more sight across the board, so they pretty much have got an entire 360 now of the board to be able to lay down some cover in fire. The Rhinos have steamed forward, and Crom have moved forward another 6, basically trying to get the Orc War Boss out of that truck and get him into a mano-a-mano fight. And then the Venerable Dreadnought has moved up 6, so he's staring down at the Orc Bikers. Okay, so we rolled for the lightning from the storm going on above, and I rolled a 2. So on a roll of 1 to 5, nothing happens. It only hits a unit if it's a 6. So the remainder of the Space Wolf shooting, the Venerable Dreadnought opened up on the bikes, got 2 wounds. Robin managed to jink them. I get the impression he's trying to teach me a lesson about how annoying my bikes are. Yes, I thought you might be. The psychic powers of the Rune Priest, nothing's in range because they're all 18 inches, so the killer cans and the truck are just out. Because the Longfang shoved forwards, they had to snap fire and managed to roll no 6s. They were trying to pop the truck that the War Boss is in. Vindicator, nothing in range this turn, and then these guys, obviously nothing in range. So over to the Orcs.
Orc movement turn 1. Okay, so the looters have just stayed still. They've got a bead on the Thunderwolf cavalry charging there. The truck with the shooter boys in has moved up 12. Nice open top vehicle. Lots of shots going to be going over that way. The cans have moved around from behind 6 inches, just in cover, so there's not really much of a line of sight for the Vindicator to shoot at them there. Grut, is it? My War Boss, whatever his name is. He's moved up 12 inches, and he's going to charge down the Wolf Lord on the other side. Let's get that challenge going off. All the boys, the big blob squad, have moved forward. I ran at the same time just to save a bit of time. So there they managed to roll a 5 on the run, so they've moved quite far up. And the War Boss and the War Bikes have moved up their 12 inches, and they should be in range for a fairly long charge into the Dreadnought. So let's see if we can get some first blood going off this turn. The looters up here, I managed to roll 5, so they all got 3 shots each. So they all shot down at the Thunderwolf cavalry. Despite kicking out around 30 odd shots, I think it was, I only actually managed to hit, I think it was 4 or 5 times, but I did take 1 wound off the front guy. The sluggers over here, snap firing out of the truck, also shot at that unit. They actually hit a lot more despite the snapshots, and wounded a lot more. So managed to take off the last wound from the Thunderwolf cavalry guy at the front, which unfortunately for Richard, but fortunately for me, was actually the Thunderhammer guy. So Richard needs to learn how to place his models better.
Yeah, thanks.
A little bit better over here. The killer cans shot into the rhino that was there, blowing it up, which would normally be first blood, but there's no first blood in this particular scenario. Managed to kill, was it 1 or 2 from the...
1 out of the rhino.
1 out of the rhino, and then 1 out of the command squad, I think it was.
Yeah, the squad at the back, yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of wounds there. Nothing over here was in range to shoot. The war bikes are in range to shoot the dreadnought, but it's a venerable dreadnought, armor 12 at the front, so everything would just bounce. So on to close combat. Okay, so the war boss and his squad managed to get into the venerable dreadnought. Venerable dreadnought hit first and killed one of the war bikes on the way in. The war bikes themselves, because they've only got choppers, can't actually do anything, so it was all down to the war boss. He managed to score 2 penetrating hits, but just got 2 shaken results, so that dreadnought's down to just 1 hull point, so hopefully I'll mop him up nice and easy next turn.
Okay, so the Thunderwolf cavalry have moved up their 12 inches and they are looking at getting into combat with the truck with the shooter boys in. The Vindicator has sat still. Again, got quite a few nice little targets here, so we'll hopefully open fire on them. Long Fangs have obviously stayed still because they've got a decent view of the field going on up here, so get some shots off. I think what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and pop the truck with Grog in it. The remaining squad, well, the combat squad with the Rune Priest in, is standing by, so if that doesn't actually go pop from the Long Fang's fire, the guy with the Power Claw will hopefully get in and rip it open. If it does go pop, they should be within assault range of the knobs that are in there, and my war boss Grom has moved up with his squad as well, so they are also ready for the combat there. So quite a few options going on and a way to get this guy out of the truck, so we'll see what happens there. Obviously the Venerable Dreadnought is tied up in combat. Over here the Rhino has moved around 6 inches and the boys have jumped out. So we now have front rank and second rank, so hopefully we'll be whittling down some of this big green bob that's heading towards us. I know that we're going to get into assault, but we should be able to pepper enough of these boys off to increase their charge range. Shooting for the Space Wolves, basically the Vindicator opened fire at the killer cans and scattered back about 11 inches or something really helpful. The Long Fangs on top did what they were meant to do. They popped the truck, forcing the boys, well the knobs and Grok to get out. The front squad here opened fire on them, killing one of the knobs. During the psychic phase, my Rune Priest opened up with Living Lightning onto the killer cans at the back. I managed to get it to go off once, however Robin denied, which is really helpful. This squad at the back opened fire on the knobs here, killing another 1, so they're down 2 knobs there. Over here, this squad and the Rhino opened fire at the boys, killing 4, so we're now over to assault. Yeah, there's a big hole down here where the Venerable Dreadnought used to stand. He did pull down one of the boys on the bikes, but the war boss on his bike with his Power Claw, he's just too strong for that Venerable Dreadnought, so he did blow it up. The explosion didn't cause any damage, so they've consolidated 6 inches and are now heading in this general direction towards
my warlord. So I'll have to see what Dragon Gaze can do to stand up, because he's obviously got the warlord on the bike heading down towards him, but he's also got his primary target in his sights, which is Face Ripper over here, now that he's out of his truck. Over here, the Thunderwolf Cavalry did manage to get into combat with the truck over here, but disastrous dice rolling for me, and I managed to do one glancing hit, so we're down a hull point on the truck.
The looters, as usual, stayed put, just waiting to get some shots on the Thunderwolf Cavalry, who were tank shocked by the truck. They've just obviously moved out of the way. All the shooters are still in there, so they're probably going to do some pinging shots on the way past. My warlord has moved up 6 inches and is now within charge range of his arch enemy over there. The cans have also moved up. They're looking at the Rune Priest. The second in command could be in trouble here. The big blob squad of boys was not thinned out as much as Richard would have liked. So where they did front row and second row gun line, I think I've got front row, second row, third row, fourth row and fifth row gun line. So let's see how many survive before I even get a chance to charge them. I know it's Orks, but they can shoot a little bit. The bikes have got the warlord in a bit of a pincer movement here, so he could be in trouble. Let's see what happens at the end of the shooting phase. The looters only rolled a 1, so didn't actually get that many shots. Shot them all at the Thunderwolf Cavalry though, and just the 1 wound off that front guy there, so a little bit disappointing. The shooters also shot into that squad. Got some good hits, not so good on the wounds. Richard's save throws were quite good though, to be fair.
Makes a nice change.
Over here, the killer cans shot into the Rune Priest squad, killed one of those, and then Grux guys shot into that squad as well, didn't do anything, but the war bikes managed to take out 1 from the warlord's squad. One thing I've learnt from Warhammer 40,000 is never get too cocky, and this big blob squad with all those guns, yeah, did nothing. So hopefully they'll fare better in close combat, but we'll have to see. This could be a pivotal turn, this one. There's going to be a lot of assaults going off now, so should be fun. Okay, so these boys here charged into combat to the Grey Hunters and mashed them. Took 3 casualties, wiping out 9. There's just the pack leader alive. He broke and he's running, and the boys are chasing him down. The killer cans over here charged into the Rune Priest and his squad, and they wiped out that squad for no damage in return. Consolidated 1 inch just in front of that statue. My war boss was desperately trying to charge into the other war boss. Unfortunately, he didn't roll high enough, so he is not in the combat. However, the bikes did get in. He issued a challenge to my war boss. I accepted. He obviously killed my war boss, but my boys wiped out the rest of his squad, and he is down to 1 wound there. So yeah, they're tied up in combat. They passed their morale, the boys did, despite all the odds. So they're locked in combat there. So hopefully Gruck can get his claw nice and bloody in the next turn. Let's see what happens.
The Vindicator is just pivoted around a little bit just so that you can try and get a better shot on the knobs and Grok down there. Thunderwolf Cavalry have moved around the back of the truck and have come around this side now, so they're also looking down at these guys. I really need to try and take out the bodyguards on this guy down here. So the Longfangs will open fire on them guys as well. Or they might go for the killer cans, because these are also a bit of a threat. I know they've only got grots in them, but they're still on the board, which is a bit worrying. Over here, this guy has rallied, and he's well, yeah, he's facing down at the big green horde. The Rhino has come around the back as well, so try and pep a few shots. This guy, he might try and go into combat, or he might go over here.
Run away.
He's not going to run away, Robin. He might come over here and try and give this guy a bit of support as well. Because, you know, Dragon Gaze is looking a bit out in the open on his own here, so he might come across and try and give some support. The Longfangs on top of the building have opened fire on Gruck and his bodyguard squad down there, reducing them down to 1 knob with 1 wound, so that actually went quite well. However, the plasma gun guy, the pack leader, rolled a 1, so he got hot, it blew up in his face, and he killed himself.
How did he ever get to pack leader? He does that every battle.
I have no idea how that guy was made pack leader. Somebody in the Space Wolf recruitment needs to be looked at, because they're recruiting idiots to hold the plasma guns. Seriously. The Vindicator over here has opened fire onto the killer cans, taking 1 down to 1 hull point and removing 1. This one here with the 1 hull point has also lost its can claw, so that's quite good. The Thunderwolf Cavalry guys on this side opened up with their bolt pistols and did nothing. Robbie managed to save that one. Over here even, the remaining Grey Hunter has turned around and shot these guys with his bolt pistol, killing 1. So he's going to do a Death or Glory, balls to the wall, charge in now. Over here, the remaining Grey Hunter with the Power Fist was just dragged down by the green tide. He did survive the snapshots as he ran in, but there was just too many. It was worth the try, and you know, it's always good for a giggle. Over here, however, Dragon Gaze has wiped out the boys on the bikes and is now free, but he's down to 1 wound, and he consolidated 1 whole inch, which is a little bit annoying. He could have done with moving a little bit further. Over here, the Thunderwolf have killed the 1 knob that was left with Hammer of Wraths, and then taken 1 wound off Gruck. And I also lost the Thunderwolf Cavalry guy. So that is drawn combat over there at the moment.
Okay, so the looters have stayed put, just turning their guns round, see if any targets present themselves over here. Potentially the Longfangs in the building. I think that's the only thing. It's whether they're in range or not, so we'll have to check that. Over this side of the board, Can's moved up, looking at a Warlord kill hopefully. And the boys always want to join a bit of a party when it comes down to close combat. So hopefully we'll see the Warlord fall in this turn. We'll just have to see how it goes. Nothing else moved really. These are locked in. Oh, actually, sorry, the truck charged up 12 there, getting close to the Vindicator, so it's going to find it hard to shoot it. And I can snap fire some shots into those Longfangs there. So let's move on to the shooting. Okay, so the looters have opened up again, rolled low on the amount of shots, just the 1 shot each. So 9 shots went into the Longfangs over here. Managed to kill 3 of those guys on there, and then the combined fire from the shooters. That's actually been a really good unit in there. Nice little mobile gun platform with lots of shots. Shot up into the building and wiped out the remaining 2. So that's another point scored there for wiping out a unit. The killer cans, yeah, they completely failed. Missed both their shots, and the one on the right managed to get hot and took a whole point off itself. The boys over here pumped in an absolute shed load of shots into the warlord, and heroically he's managed to save them all. So it's going to come down to a last ditch close combat assault, last stand there from the warlord. So let's see how he gets on with that. So he's fallen. He heroically stood there and took a punishing 19 hits just from the boys alone. Out of that 19, he had to save, I think it was 9 wounds. Saved a lot of them, but he only had 1 wound left. So there, the warlord is dead. Over here, Gruck took down the last of the Thunderwolves there. So he is showing what a war boss should do. So we've decided now, looking at the table, Richard has just the Rhino and a Vindicator over here. So we've decided to call it. So that, Richard, is how to play Orks, mate. Dominate your opponent. That was a good fun battle though, something for a change. Despite the lack of wolves on the table, it was actually fairly close all the way through. Got good high rolls for a lot of attacks. My shooting was quite good, uncharacteristically for Orks as well. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the battle. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you did, remember to leave us a comment, click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much.